Is that it, though? Is ultimate done?
Tell me, what do you imagine will befall this world now that you have gained your precious freedom?
I honestly don't know. But I doubt it will be pretty. A sorry tale of sin and suffering, hardship and pain.
And it was for this that you fought so fiercely? Why?
It's who we are. We fight. We survive. We endure. We don't need a reason. We are imperfect creatures. When we stumble, we reach for a shoulder to lean on. When we fall, we stand back up. We see the horizon, ever out of reach, and still we march on. Certain the answers lie just beyond it. Because that is our way.
My congratulations. Relish this victory, knowing that you have but delayed the inevitable. Your world is already dead. May you enjoy an eternity on its blackened husk.
It makes sense for Prelude to be playing right now. This is only the beginning. I will say I've been loving the music they've been using throughout this game. Old themes, new themes, fantastic. It was so long ago now. Just remember playing the demo being like, wow, what do they have in store for us? And what a journey. Good old Byron. Adorable. I mean, yeah, you do have the power of the Phoenix. Is that enough, though? I mean, I hope.
It seems Ultima's power was too great for this vessel all along. But while I have it, perhaps I can use it to set things right. And see Ultima's legacy. Bearers, dominance, crystals, magic, consigned to the flames. Even if it means the end of me. These are our terms.
Will an end to all that bring about the end of the Blight, though? I'm assuming he made a wish towards Metius. There it is. Oh, well done, Ben. We'll say fantastic work, fantastic work. You did fantastic stuff with Clive there. I've been liking the dub all round here, though. English voice work's been fantastic, but not just the voice work. The localization as well. The use of English dialects and English slang, words, phrases here and there. Oh no. Yeah, localization's been fantastic. Oh. World Without Magic. I mean, it doesn't seem to be progressing up his arm there, just seemed to be his hand.
Can you see it too? Jill?
I assume he's just having a nap. Yeah, it didn't progress up his arm. Oh, he's waiting for the baby to be born. Gav was great. absolutely love, Gav.
Aren't you the most beautiful thing?
He is, isn't he? What are you gonna call him?
Let me see, let me see. Ah, Reed, little one. Got a smile for your Uncle Gav?
Not so loud, you burp.
What? I was only...
Shh, you're scaring him.
It's all right.
Oh.
A sky of scattered tears,
Does that mean the wish was granted?
1,000 years apart.
And which wish?
Should they fade, I will not be afraid of the dark. For
If you need a rest, I can take him.
I'll hold you to that.
me deep within my heart, showing
The world's yours now. Yours to do with as you please. That's what Sid wanted. That's what they both wanted.
Just want to give Gav a hug. I mean, it's a new dawn.
And thus did our journey end.
Yeah, I'm going with the idea that he's still alive. Probably lost the use of his arm, at least his hand, but I feel like he's still going to be alive there. Fantastic, though. For a long time, I've been sort of disappointed with Final Fantasy, is the best way of putting it. I loved it from 7 onwards. I went back to like 6 and stuff like that, but I used to adore Final Fantasy games. And then we got to 12, and things got odd from there. And I've been waiting for what feels like, to me at least, a return to form, and this feels like it. For me, the main focus, the main draw of Final Fantasy is its stories, more than anything else, and it's nailed it with its story, I feel. There's much more they could tell us, though. Much, much more. I mean, what's with the door in the dim? There's got to be something going on there. You can't leave me hanging on what's going on with the door in the dim. Forget Clive and whether or not he's alive. What's going on with this door in the dim? I want to know what's happening there. And what was the blight? Is it just the magic, the ether being taken from the world? Is that what was going on? Because now there's a world with no magic, based on what's happening here. So, is the entire world now going to be blight? I don't think so. We need more details here and there, I feel. There's still a few loose threads. So I'm hoping they do actually plan on doing some DLC, because I know they didn't plan to when they first, released the game. But I hope now they plan to, because I have seen several places people praising this and being like, yeah, this is really good. And I am definitely one of those people being like, this is fantastic. I love it. I want more, please. not a 16.2. I'd like just a big, meaty, chunky piece of DLC, like an expansion. Like a good 10-20 hour experience. A block of story. Maybe have the different time frames as well again, because I really like that as well. That we got to see Clive when he was young, when he'd grown up a little, and then, well, middle-aged basically, really, isn't it? Like, seeing him at that point was just really nice as well. Just seeing all those stages as he developed, trying to deal with that trauma that he'd had growing up. There's just so much about this that's done so fantastically. And I enjoyed the combat. I love the accessibility options. I do feel I question whether or not they should be attached to literal attachments. I feel like there should be more menu options as opposed to anything. But I am grateful they are there, especially because I used some of them to tweak the gameplay to what I liked. I enjoyed using them. It made it fun. It made the combat feel really fluid for me. So yeah, I absolutely loved the gameplay, the graphics. Just, you know, I expect the best from Final Fantasy. So, you know, they were quite good there. The music, my god. As I've said, fantastic use of old themes and new themes. Like, it definitely had that feeling of the music was sort of hinting towards this becoming more like a Final Fantasy as it progressed. That's what it felt like to me. Sure, we're destroying the crystals and taking out the magic from the world, but there was so much that was coming in that felt like Final Fantasy was coming back. Like, we got our chocobo back. There was an idea of like getting a ship, then potentially an airship. Sure, we didn't get the airship, but stuff was building towards that becoming a typical Final Fantasy story. The moments they used as well, when anything started to progress the story towards what we wanted. Prelude came in, the Final Fantasy theme came in, it seemed to signify this element to me. At first I had this idea that maybe Clive was a warrior of light, akin to something like Final Fantasy XIV. But I'm thinking, no, a warrior of darkness. Still trying to restore balance to the world in some regard, but warrior of darkness, that's what he feels like he is. There's just so much I could gush about with this game. I almost want to like repeat points and come back around again to like the voice acting, because yeah, wow. Just the bit where it definitely won me over on the voice acting was when Jill said the word cob. Because again, that's a dialect. There's only certain places in the UK where we use the word cob to mean bread roll, essentially. And the fact that they have that in there is interesting. There's such character in the world because they've used so much of the different dialects that exist in my country to give it a feeling, a flavour to everything they're doing. It's not just British voices saying lines, it's British dialects, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I'm waiting now, by the way, for a post-credit scene, because I imagine there will be one. There's gotta be. Because the question to me becomes what's happening with Clive, because I think he just passed out. I think he's healed Joshua. Joshua is fine now. He took out Origin, but that cost him his arm, essentially. That's what I think has happened there. Because this is the thing, if he's made a world where magic isn't a thing, and he can't use the magic, that's not going to turn him to stone. It's going to be like, as that's happening, his hand turned to stone and like, nope, that doesn't happen anymore, but he's lost the use of his hand, maybe part of his arm. That's what I feel has happened there. And I feel like he's going to return to Jill. One thing that actually makes me think that as well, though, is we got during one of our quests a quill to write a book, his memoirs, as it were. And there has been a slight narration to this story. The game started off with narration and ended with narration, so I'm wondering if the idea is it is Clive telling us his memoirs. Maybe he did write them down. Now, did he do that before or after? And it has to be after, because he told us the bit at the end, so it has to be after. But I might be reading too much into that. I don't know, I feel like some of those last few quests help fill in some of the blanks you could have here. You could extrapolate that. Because it was very, 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 very much said that he should write everything down with the quill that he was given. I'm not misremembering that, am I? I remember that happening. We were in the shelves, weren't we? When we got a quill? Can't remember what quest it was, because I'd go back and have a look now. But I definitely feel like that happened. Because it was Hippocrates that gave it us, wasn't it? I'm sure it was. And he said to maybe write down your memoirs. And I feel like that's what we've been told here. Otherwise, what's with the strange narration? Because it is someone telling us of something that happened in the past, thinking back on it, so... Or is it just sort of a artistic thing, and it's Clive telling us outside of his own story sort of thing? Like, this is the story of me, kind of thing, and then, you know, and it ended up with me dying. The end. Like, oh. Yeah. I'd have written a different ending to your story, mate, if that was the case, but, you know. Just me. It's just me, I suppose. Just me. So I'm waiting to see post-credits to see if we get any more hints towards that kind of logic. If we actually get any post-credits. That's the question. I throw it over to you. What are your thoughts and feelings on the game? Because I know that there are some people out there that didn't like the change-up in the gameplay. For me, Final Fantasy has never been about turn-based. I know for some people it has, but for me it was never about the gameplay. It was other elements like different recurring themes, different ideas coming up again and again, summons. So the gameplay was secondary to that. So like story is the focus. That's the aspect I like. So for me, this is very much a Final Fantasy. It feels it in so many different ways. But to others, it may not. The change in gameplay may be a significant factor for you. So I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you thought about the game. What aspect did you think was great? Do you agree that the music was just sublime? Absolutely sublime. Might see about buying the soundtrack, to be honest. I wonder if the soundtrack's out on vinyl, because I do have a record player. Because that'd be really cool. That would be really cool. Some fantastic art on the vinyl is what I want as well. That would just be great. There's got to be somewhere that does it. I've got to look for that. I might see if I can get a figure or something of Clive, because Clive, dear God, he's definitely one of my favorite protagonists in a Final Fantasy game. He went through so much. He may be my favorite, but I've got to let that sit. It's one of those things. I've got to let my thoughts sit on Final Fantasy XVI. Because it always bounces at the top for me as to which one's best, Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy VII. It just bounces backwards and forwards. Having replayed the original Final Fantasy VII recently, Final Fantasy X goes back on top because there's a lot about Final Fantasy VII that's not explored, which I'm hoping is going to happen across the remake. I'm hoping. Because we've got some idea of what's coming up. I won't say more about 7 because that'll be getting spoilers into that, and we're not even partway through the story yet, really, are we? We wouldn't have even finished disc 1 of the original Final Fantasy VII at this point, with where remakes got to. So, yeah, best not talk about what's coming at all there, really. Even though it's one of those things where, sure, Final Fantasy VII, the original, is an old game, but due to the remake, I don't think you're okay spoiling it anymore. For a time, I was just like, it's so old, you can spoil it, everybody knows. But now there's going to be new people interested in the series because of that, and I don't feel like you should, even though there's a lot about it around everywhere. There really is, but I don't feel like I want to. I want to be careful with that. Really do want to be careful with that. I diverged from what my point was, which was, yeah, what's your thoughts on the game? Because I'd be very intrigued to see differing opinions, basically. Differing opinions. Oh, here we go. Here we go. This is what we want. I mean, I'm assuming this is the future. A land free of blight, sort of thing. Loads of flowers. It's lovely. I mean, they're getting firewood because they don't have fire magic.
Every time.
Will you light it?
Yes, Mother.
Yeah, there you go.
Come on. If only I had the flames of an icon.
Icon? Have you been reading that silly story again? Magic belongs in fairy tales, and fairy tales don't boil kettles. You see? Well done. Now, be a good lad, and play with your brother until supper.
Come on, hurry. Hurry! All right.
There's a puppy. A little bit of prelude. A little bit of Final Fantasy theme.
Right, let's play the Saint in the Secretary. No, I don't want to be Madu. What do you want to play then? War of the Icons! Again? Well, all right. And I get to be a freak. Right, I'm the older brother. Because Bahamut says so.
Bahamut. That's a nice little bit on the end there. Still need loads of questions answered, I feel. And where one journey ends. And that will be the end of our journey as well. So thank you very much for watching. Ta-da for now.